Well, I'd like to start by saying it's my neighbor actually using Trugreen lawn care service. Um, I don't have any issues with my neighbor. He's actually a really good guy. He's always been really fair and good to us, and we've never had any issues. He's, like I say, a wonderful guy. Unfortunately, the product is actually seeping onto our property, and that's where we're having some issues. And uh, like our fence is actually a chain link fence, and our lawns connect. So it's seeping through the fence. I'm finding granules, like, I don't know if you can see these, such as these on the lawn everywhere, and it's causing the paw infections and stuff in my dogs. They've actually both have the same symptoms: paw infection, seizures, tremors. It's just been a horrible, horrible nightmare because they've been really healthy dogs prior to the application of this service. I did try to contact Trugreen, and when this all started, what had happened was I was out on my back porch, and I was with my dogs, and I do my gardening out there, and I never noticed the technician coming into the next yard and spraying, and it was really windy that day. And all of a sudden I felt dizzy and I couldn't breathe, and I have a chronic condition already. It's emphysema and fibrosis of the lungs. So my breathing got really labored. I went in to get my rescue inhaler. It wasn't helping. So, of course, my dogs started heaving, like it was like they were dry heaving. So I didn't think nothing of it at first, and then I went to the doctor. I got stable. My physician figured it was something I was exposed to, either in the environment or maybe allergies were starting. He wasn't sure himself. So when I got home, I noticed my dog's paws were red and inflamed and had little bumps and blisters on them. So I took them to the vet, and my one dog actually almost chewed his tail off. He was so itchy. It was like a murder scene when I came home one day. And the vet said that it was environmental. So something in the environment was exposing these dogs to these irritations. So I started investigating the lawn service next door because that was the only thing I could think of that was causing these problems. And I started noticing on Facebook there was a Trugreen sex page, and people were saying, hey, my dogs are dying, or that Trugreen killed my animals. So I started looking up the incident reports with Health Canada, and I noticed that these products they are using, called Fiesta and ammonium sulfate, is actually pretty harmful. Like, I do have the MSD sheet here, and it states that chronic health effects and long-term exposure can cause diseases in the airways involving difficulty breathing, as well as substance accumulation in the human body may occur. Particles will remain in the lung, causing abnormal x-rays, making it even more of a risk for those with compromised respiratory issues. And it does also cause skin irritations. I tried to get a hold of the company to get the MSDS sheets originally, and they didn't send them to me. They wouldn't send them to my vet. I actually went through another lawn care company that actually directed me on the products they were using and the label information, and therefore I found out that it has to be applied correctly. And right on the label of the Fiesta, it actually says, apply this product safely. The label states, apply only when the potential for drift to areas of human habitation or areas of human activity, such as houses, cottages, schools, recreation areas, are minimal. Consideration of wind speed, wind direction, temperature, application equipment, and spray settings are important. Now, the technician that day, like I said, it was very windy, so I'm sure none of the product landed on his yard and ended up on my, we were breathing it in, and that's what caused all the initial problems. So, again, I tried contacting them and tried to say, look, I can't stop my neighbor from spraying because, it's his property. But I was trying to stop the drifting on my property. And I asked them if they could give me notice so I could tarp my fence or keep my pets in or do everything to protect us. And no luck. They returned my call once, left a message when I was out, and then I tried to get a hold of them, and I tried for 6 months to actually talk to somebody, and nobody returned my calls. Nobody would give me the MSDS sheets. Nobody would even tell me what products they were using. So I was really concerned at that point, and then I started doing more research and found out there is a law in Canada to protect me from that. If, let's say my neighbor's using chemicals and it's actually seeping onto my property. But unfortunately, what makes me angry is that these companies are leaving people liable for this, because I found out that it's got to be the neighbor I go after, not the company. Because it would be, I could probably go, but it's a big corporation. It could cost a lot of money. And I've already spent, I'm just going to show you. This is 1 year of vet bills. I don't know if you can actually.
It's pretty thick shoulder folder. I can see
Yes,
that.
it is. It's huge. And this is like since their lifetime. So like with regular, like their shots and everything, their boosters. We've never had any health issues. So in 1 year, a total of $9,860 and change is what we spent. So my husband's had to take on a second job, and because I'm unable to work at this point. But like I said, I did have these chronic lung issues beforehand, but I never had any lesions on my lungs. And now I'm developing lesions, which are anywhere from 0.5 centimeters to 3 centimeters. I'm going to investigate further this year to see if it has anything to do with my condition beforehand, or if it has something to do with the chemical exposure. So what my doctor and I've done is we filed health incident reports with Health Canada, and hoping to, get some answers on, what we can do to protect ourselves. And again, like I say, I've tried talking to the neighbor, but he's been reassured by this company over and over that these are natural herbicides and that they're safe. And, he doesn't live there, so he doesn't, he's not around to see them applying it. And my concern is mainly why they're not, working with me on this issue. Like, I'm willing to do anything to protect us. It's just, another year of costly bills. I don't know if I can do it again. And it's just getting frustrating because they're not even communicating with me whatsoever. No. And like I say, with the company reassuring them that these products are safe and that this isn't caused by this, and, it's not helping the situation. And the last thing I want to do is have conflict with him, because, like I say, it's hard enough for me to speak out right now, let alone, any conflict, right? I just, want to have the enjoyment of enjoying my backyard and, letting my pets out. And as you can see, I have to use a lift harness with her. That's what's on her back. She suffers from ataxia. It's weakness in the hind legs. And being on all sorts of seizure medications, we just spent $169 on charcoal, and then it interferes with their medications because it's just a no-win situation. And I just don't know who else to reach out to. Like, there's just not enough education, or, I don't think homeowners are aware, like, it can affect their neighbors. Like, I think having the information more available will help them make the right choice on the lawn care companies. Because I'm seriously, a lot of lawn care companies actually help me find the information. So I'm not saying all of them are bad, but they did point out that the application is very important. And I mean, the technician that comes here to spray the lawn, I don't ever see him wearing gloves, masks, nothing. And it confuses me because it's, I just don't think they're getting trained properly. Like, but they're not responding to me, so I really don't know what the issues would be. Yes, that's correct. It's actually called Trugreen sucks, and you'll see a lot of people, their complaints with the company. Overuse of the product, all sorts of stuff, animals dying, dogs dying especially. And I reached out to a few people, like when I was doing research, and I found out that is the parent company of the one here in Canada. So, I mean, the chemicals, I don't know if they are the same, but I know the ones that they're using here is called Fiesta and the ammonium sulfate. But I'm not sure of the supplement, because they won't divulge that information of the other products they're using. So it's really hard to seek treatment when, and it even says on the MSD sheets it will cause seizures if overexposed. And it tells you what to treat them with. But if we would have known that probably 6 months before, we probably wouldn't have been going through so many trial and errors with the dogs, right? We would have been able to treat them fast and quick and
be done with it.
Yeah, exactly. So my concern is just that they're not working with the people. Like, why are they being so shady? It makes me question. Like, I've never been rude to them. I've never freaked out. I'm pretty easy to get along with. I try to solve the issues the best I can. But again, like, I'm just getting desperate this year. It's just been a never ending. I would just like to add that, I really hope that the media will, eventually do, like, journalists maybe will do stories to educate the consumer, like I said, to make wiser choices on their lawn care. And to actually know what products they're putting on their lawn, because, you know, they may say they're safe, but they don't really have the studies to prove that yet. So, yeah, it's really hard. Like, you know, like yours up against animal testing, so it's really hard to tell, you know, for any past, you know, I don't want to encourage that whatsoever, but it would be nice to have some sort of explanation. Maybe this video will help more people come forward, and maybe, you know, if they can't figure out what's going on with their pets, maybe it's something they should check into and find out what's being put on the lawns. Like, my dogs don't go on their lawn whatsoever, so the only way that they're getting exposed is through seepage, right? So it's either drifting on our property or they're overspraying and it's just flying through the fence. And of course our dogs walk right along the fence because we built a ramp because they're, you know, like they're suffering from ataxia, like I say. So it's been quite challenging and expensive, and I really hope that this video will, you know, bring it to people's attention. Like I said, I don't want to slander anyone, and I just want answers, that's all. And I want help, like, to try and get the right
Understood.